What's going on, guys? It's Hi, and today we're going to be taking a look at and comparing two very popular tabletop tripods, the Sirui 3T-15 and the Sirui 3T-35. First, let's take a look at the design of these tripods. Of the two tripods, I would say that the 3T-15 has the more traditional tripod design. It's essentially a set of legs with a ball head. The only thing that's kind of extra with the 3T-15 is having multiple angles on the legs as diagrammed on this collar right here. So if I open up this leg, you see that we have one angle, but if I turn this collar as diagrammed, we get another more deeper lower angle. This tripod doesn't do anything special, but that's not to say that it's a bad thing, because it doesn't have a bunch of special features. It doesn't require a bunch of special parts. The construction of the 3T-15 is extremely robust. This thing just feels like a tank, but it is surprising the lighter weight of the two tripods. In terms of construction, this one just feels of better quality. In terms of design, everything is streamlined, and in my opinion, the 3T-15 is the better looking tripod of the two. This looks like a complete product, as if everything belonged together. Moving on to the 3T-35, this one is definitely the more interesting of the two designs. Whereas with the 3T-15, like I said earlier, it's pretty much just a set of legs with a ball head. You open up these legs, put it down on a surface, and it becomes a tripod, and that's about it. The 3T-35, on the other hand, has a few tricks up its sleeve. When you first get this tripod, it comes packaged as so, and it doesn't really even look like a tripod, so how do we use it? At this stage, we actually have to invert these legs, and this product actually starts to look more like a tripod, but the legs can still freely swing up and down, so we actually have to turn this collar, and then the legs get locked into place, and we now have our tripod. The main thing that makes this tripod different from the 3T-15 is the center column. This allows you to get some additional height when in tripod mode, and when handheld, this is actually long enough to be a pretty functional selfie stick. As you can see, the center column is actually made up of two sections, and this just allows you to have a little bit more adjustability when it comes to the height of the tripod itself. The nice thing about this 3T-35 is that if you want a more traditional tripod design like the 3T-15 where it's just a set of legs and a ball head, you can actually remove this entire center column. This reduces the size quite a bit and makes the entire setup very compact, but to be honest, if I'm buying this tripod, I'm buying it for the center column. That really is the main appeal of this tripod. Also, removing the center column isn't exactly an effortless task. It requires a tool and takes a moment to remove. In a pinch, and if you absolutely need that really low angle shot, then sure, remove the center column. Just make sure to bring along the hex key or you'll be out of luck. For me, the process is just not practical, so I always keep the center column on. That being said, there is one major drawback of this design. As with any other tripod, the center column does make the tripod less stable and not as sturdy. Whereas the 3T-15 can support 11 pounds, this 3T-35 can only support 8.8 pounds. And remember, these are the recommended max payloads, so you really should be using a rig that weighs less, but still, the 3T-15 will be able to support a greater payload. With a camera mounted to these tripods, you can definitely tell that the 3T-15 provides a more stable surface, and this just makes sense. The center of gravity of the rig is just lower when on the 3T-15 than on the 3T-35. They may be much more similar in terms of stability when the center column of the 3T-35 is removed, but again, that's just not how I use this particular tripod. If you're watching this video and are interested in buying one or the other and are hoping that there's an outright winner, then I'm sorry to break it to you, because there really just isn't. These two tripods have different purposes and are geared towards different users. Between the 3T-15 and the 3T-35, it's a tough call. The 3T-15 is a simple, straightforward tabletop design. It has no frills, but it feels extremely robust and looks great. It also provides a more stable platform out of the box and can support a greater payload. The 3T-15 is a bit of a chameleon. It's multi-purpose. It can be a plain tabletop tripod like the 3T-15 when the center column is removed, or with the center column, you can get a taller tabletop tripod and a very functional selfie stick. That's not to say that you can't use the 3T-15 to get a little bit extra reach, but the 3T-35 is just more useful if you don't have a particular wide lens and you need to get the camera farther away from you when using these products as a selfie stick. The main drawback for me with the 3T-35 is its perceived robustness. The specs say that it can hold 8.8 pounds, but I don't know if I really believe that. I mean, 8.8 pounds is more than a body and a 70 to 200 2.8. Would you throw that kind of setup on this thing? Probably not. The 3T-15, on the other hand, the specs say that its load capacity is 11 pounds, and I don't know if I would really want to test that, but I have an easier time believing that it's true. Realistically, a tripod is only as strong as its individual components, whether it's the head or the legs. You can have a pair of legs that can carry 100 pounds, but if the head can only hold 1 pound, then the whole tripod setup only holds 1 pound. The 3T-15's head is so much beefier than the head that's on the 3T-35. Between these two, the 3T-15's head is just also more functional in general. If we look at the 3T-35's head, it has a knob to lock down this ball, and once this is released, you can pan it, but that's about it. Up top, we have another knob, but this is purely just to hold the Arca Swiss plate in place. With the 3T-15, we have one knob to lock and release the ball head, and then another independently to lock and release the pan of the head, and this can become extremely useful, whereas with the 3T-35, it's just one knob for everything. And again, up top we have one knob which releases the quick release plate, but this time there's actually a button which, when pressed, activates this pin, which is essentially a safety catch so that this plate doesn't accidentally come out. So along with its added robustness, the 3T-15's head is just a better design in general. I think the 3T-35 would be an excellent option for a smaller setup. If you use a point-and-shoot, micro four thirds, APS-C, or a small, lightweight, full-frame setup, then the 3T-35 is an extremely versatile option. If you have a heavier setup or just have no need for the center column of the 3T-35, just go with the 3T-15. This is an extremely well-built tripod and will more likely hold up to the test of time. It should also be noted that there is also a 3T-35 Plus model, which costs a few extra dollars. I'm not exactly sure what's different between this regular model and the Plus model, but the Plus model is advertised as having a C10S ball head. I assume that this is an upgrade from this original ball head, but aside from this, there isn't much difference in terms of specs. The specs show that the Plus model is a bit larger in size with a bit more maximum working height, but this could just be because the C10S head is a bit larger. The Plus is also a few grams lighter than this original CT35, but other than that, the two are very similar. And there you have it, the Sirui 3T-15 versus the 3T-35. Two great tripods, just made for two different sets of people. Through my time with these two tripods, I've come to develop different uses for each, so both gets about the same amount of use. If you're trying to decide between one or the other, I would highly suggest you just try them out for yourself, because like I said, they are really made for two different sets of people. But if I could just narrow it down to one thing, it would probably be purely max payload. To me, the 3T-15 is really for use with those 2.8 lenses, or just really large, fast primes. The 3T-15 is really for anything else. If you're using kit lenses or just, anything that's smaller, lighter weight, this is really the way to go. It's more convenient and offers more versatility, whereas this is really just a tabletop tripod. Hopefully this video has helped you out. If it did, give it a thumbs up, share it around, comment down below any thoughts or questions you may have, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.